Sleepy fam, welcome back to my channel. Do you like that intro? Anyway, if you're new here, I'm Kate. I am the sleepiest teacher. It's great to meet you. If you don't know much about me, I teach 3rd grade in San Diego, California. I've been teaching for 15 years. I don't have enough hands. So I suppose I know a few things. Anyway, I have a really exciting, educational, informational video for you. You can decide. But I am really excited to do this video with you. It is in collaboration with a lot of other wonderful YouTubers, many of whom are my friends, and we are all partnering with Teachers Connect. If you don't know what Teachers Connect is, it's an online social media platform pretty much designed for teachers. So you can go on, you can share ideas, ask questions, collaborate with other teachers, and it's just a great resource and a community to be a part of. So if you are not already on Teachers Connect and you want to check it out, I have a link down below. You can let them know the Sleepy Teacher sent you, and let's get into it. So what is this video that we're going to be discussing today? So the video is about reaching all students. So if that's something that's interesting to you, then just keep watching. Okay guys, so have a little backstory. Don't go anywhere. Wait. I know my stories are long. I get it, but I think this is important. So a while back, my friend Tawnya over at Smartie Style, if you're not following her, make sure you follow her. She's amazing. She had asked me if I wanted to do a video with her called Becoming a Better Teacher. It was a collab. And I was super excited to be asked and to take part. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure that you either click the iCard or you can get to it at, I'll also have it in my end screen. And it was all about just talking about how to become a better teacher, or when you realize you're becoming a better teacher. So when Teachers Connect reached out to me and said, hey, we would really love to do another video, would you be interested? I, of course, was very interested. And so this is all about reaching all students. Hang on one second. So question 1 is, what strategies do you use to reach and or motivate your students? What works best? So this is something that I really kind of do actually at the beginning of the year, and I know it's not the beginning of the year anymore, but if you're struggling with this, I mean, you could really do it at any point in the year. So you need to determine what kind of classroom community you want and what kind of classroom culture you want. So at the beginning of the year, I think, how do I want it to look, or what do I want it to look like? And so for me, the classroom community that I want to build is a safe place that students, when they walk in, they know that they're in a safe space to try. It doesn't matter if they make mistakes, that, you know, they don't have to worry about students making fun of them if they get something wrong. Any of that stuff, that they are safe to just be who they are and to try their best and to push themselves to become better. And there's not really, like, I can't say like, oh, there's a game that you could play. Yeah, I'm sure there are books that you could read for it, and I'm sure there are, like, you know, activities that you could do. But for me, I find that it is the reinforcement every single day, and just being very, very aware that I need to reinforce certain behaviors so that they then understand when they walk in the room, this is a safe place. She has shown me time and time again, or he or whoever, the teacher has shown me over and over again that I am in a safe place. And it really does put a lot more calm into the classroom because they are in a place where they feel safe. The second thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the classroom culture. And for me, it's all about allowing my students, or encouraging my students, or teaching my students how to be happy for others' successes. And this is difficult because a lot of times it's hard for kids and some adults to say, I'm so happy for you without them feeling like it takes something away from them. And it's something that I really focus on with my students, and I try very, very hard throughout the day to recognize a variety of students for different things, and really reminding the kids that you can be happy for someone else and it doesn't diminish what you've done. And what they find is that it's all the sweeter, it's all the better, it's more, it means something a little bit more to them when they are recognized, because they know that the other students are genuinely happy for them. So those are kind of the things that I do to motivate students. And when you're doing those things, you'll find that students tend to be also more motivated to work harder and to be a better citizen and to help others. And that's what I want from my students. Okay. Question 2. So question 2 is, how do you reach and or motivate difficult to reach or misbehaving students? Any examples? Okay, so I think a lot of you that struggle with behavior management often just want like the answer that's going to fix everything. And I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't exist. Okay, that unicorn does not exist. So I think a lot of times too, what I hear from a lot of teachers that are struggling with students or classroom management or behavior management, they often just say, I've tried everything, nothing works. Well, you haven't tried everything, because something works, right? And that usually comes out of a frustration level. So what works for me might not work for you, because my approach to it is going to be different than your approach. But I am going to tell you kind of what I've learned over the years and why I feel so strongly about behavior management. So I very rarely get heated. Very rarely. It happens. It happens. It happens to all of us. But I'm pretty even-keeled. And when a student is doing something I don't like, I take a step back and remove myself emotionally from the situation, and I just observe, and I'm just watching the student. And oftentimes I don't have behavior management issues with so-called difficult children, because I don't allow things to escalate. If I see something I don't like right away, like I let them know right away, and that sends a message to all the other students that this is not accepted, this is not okay, and then they don't also partake in that unexpected, that like undesirable behavior. So when a student is maybe pushing the limits or something like this, I kind of step back and I'll watch for a little bit. And then depending on the situation, I'll do a couple things. So if a student is escalating and getting really upset about something, I'll either use humor to try to break it up and kind of snap them out of whatever they're going towards, however they're escalating, and sometimes that works. If a student's really upset, but I can see that they're not being disruptive and they're not, like being harmful to themselves or their neighbors, I just let them kind of calm down on their own, right? I just let them have their space. There's nothing worse that when you're angry and having somebody like walk over and then just hounding you, right? Like you're already dealing with everything, and then to have somebody coming at you. So I just let them calm down. If they are at a point where they need to have like their own space, sometimes I'll just like let them go sit outside the classroom for a little bit, or I'll tell them to go get like a paper towel to wipe their face. That helps tremendously. Or, I don't have this in my room, but I've seen people have like those calm down, they're like little cylinders with glitter glue in them, or they have other areas where they can like calm down. That's another option when a student's getting like really frustrated. And then I also think that, a lot of times teachers, that are dealing with those students are dealing with like a power struggle, and nobody wins. The kid is upset, the teacher is upset, like nobody wins. So I usually, once like some time has passed, I'll call a student up and I'll just say, just talk to me. Like, what happened? Why are you upset? And I literally will just listen, because at that point, it's not about me, it's about them. And sometimes they just have to get it out. I mean, we all, like when we need to vent, right? It's kind of like that. So those are a couple things that I'll do, but I have to say that, you know, I have had students that I know have had, you know, maybe some behavior issues in prior years, and that they don't have that same experience when they're with me. And that's something that I pride myself on. And I think that that is something that we should all strive for, is that if a kid, you know, is considered a behavior problem or whatever you want to say, that they can have at least 1 year that they can look back on and feel successful. And I think that that builds a lot of confidence in the students. So that would be what I would say for that one. Question 3 says, how important is it to know each student's backstory? If important, how do you get to know them? Okay, so I work at a dual immersion school. So essentially, I have 2 third grade classes, and it's accelerated learning. So basically, it's like teaching 2 years of third grade in 1 year. So it's pretty intense. And I have 54 kids. So can I get to know all of their backstories? No, it's just too much information to input in my head. However, I think it is important to know as much as you can about your students, because the more you know about them, the better you can serve them, and the better you can help them achieve academically, achieve socially, achieve behaviorally, all of those things that we want to see. So the more you know about the kids, the easier that is to do. So a lot of times parents at conference time will tell us things and we're like, well, that would have been great to know, you know, but you know, that it does help you to be a little bit more aware once you start gathering that information. We, at the beginning of the year, send home a questionnaire for the parents to fill out, and there is a lot of really valid information that comes in, but then we don't hear from parents. You know, I mean, we hear from parents, but we don't get a chance to sit down and talk with them until parent conferences. And so that's like a good 3-ish months that have passed. And a lot can happen in between that time. I know some teachers, like my teaching partner, she does a lunch bunch with the kids. I do not, but it gives her a chance to just kind of talk with her students and get to know them and learn more about them. But you know, I teach third grade, so a lot of times the kids will come in and they'll randomly tell me stuff that's going on, and it's usually really cute stuff. But yeah, I mean, they love to share, they love to talk, and so one of the best ways to get to know your students is just to listen to what they have to say. So question 4 is, can relationships with parents help or hurt? If so, how? Any examples? Okay, so I think it's both. I think it's both, you guys. I'm gonna start with the positive because that's what I'm about. And I think that when you have a student that their parent genuinely wants for you to have a good year, they want you to be happy, they want you to have a successful year, and oftentimes they will go out of their way to do nice things for you, to think about you, to do whatever they can to make the year successful. And in the same sense, they hope that you want the same for their child, that you will go out of your way for that child, that you want for their happiness, that you want for their success. And when that happens, you build a strong team, and this may only last for that year. It might expand to when you have their siblings, and it could go on even further than that. And I know that I have a lot of still strong connections with former students' parents, and CJ, I don't even know if he's watching this, but when he was in town, we went for dinner, and then afterwards we went and grabbed a drink. Yeah, I know, I said it. And we ended up running into two parents, former students' parents, and I have known these people for a very long time, and it was so fantastic to run into them, and they were so lovely, and it was just so great to catch up on how their kids were and how they were doing, and it was just a really lovely night. And so I think that I tend to build really strong bonds with my students and with the parents, and I find that that continues on. So for me, I would say it's more helpful than hurtful. However, sometimes parents can throw you for a loop. You also have parents who maybe don't have your best interest at heart. And so I think that you do always need to keep that in mind, that you are the teacher and that you do need to represent yourself in a specific way, and that parents sometimes are going to do things that might not be complimentary to you. They might post it on social media, or they might, you know, put it in another forum or whatever it may be, but that no matter what happens, you still need to be professional in how you react to those actions. Anyway, so I hope that answered that question. I think it's more helpful than hurtful, but it could be both. 5, the fifth and final question. Have you ever planned to see students outside of school activities? How did it go? Examples. So my first year of teaching, I lived in Costa Rica. We always planned to do stuff with kids. Any Sunday that we wanted, we got to go on the Lewis boat and go to all these amazing places in Costa Rica, and all we had to do was like play with the kids. Come on, win-win. I don't know if the Lewis kids will ever see this, but that was an amazing experience, and that was always an open invitation. But we would have people invite us over to dinners and, like, you know, anything. We would always do stuff with the kids. We had kids that their parents worked at all-inclusive hotels, so we'd go swimming, and, you know, there was just, that was the culture that was accepted. And then when I came to Riverside, I worked in Riverside for 2 years, and I did get invited to stuff, and I just didn't feel like it was 100% right to go to those things. I felt like it was crossing a weird line. I don't know why. I did go to one student, her slumber party. I went for like an hour for the cake or whatever, but it was something that I had kind of decided that I just didn't really want to do. And I think part of it is because I can't go to everybody's events or birthdays or celebrations. And so if I can't go to all, I don't want to go to like certain ones and then not be able to go to others. So I think that was something that I just kind of decided. When I went to the school I currently work at, though, that was not the culture. The culture was that you would go to those things. It's a very European culture where I work. And so I do struggle with that sometimes. I do struggle, but for the most part, if it isn't connected to the school, I typically don't do it. So if a student is performing in the talent show, like, I'll come watch them. If they're in the choir, like, I'll come watch, right? But if it's something outside of school, because I can't do it for everyone, I just really don't do it for anyone. I mean, occasionally I make exceptions, but so I know a lot of teachers do that. My aunt used to do it. She would go to all the baseball games and things like this, but for me, it's not something that I do. So that is it. All 5 questions in how many minutes? Who even knows? If you're still here, drop me the number 1 so that I know you're still here. And I really appreciate that you stopped by to hear what I had to say. I hope you found it educational, informative, interesting, exciting. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell. I do all kinds of videos, so, and yeah, if you guys are not on Teachers Connect, go ahead and hit the link down below. Let them know the Sleepy Teacher sent you, and I think that's gonna be it because I think I've talked so much, my throat is dying. Anyway, you guys, until the next one, bye. Oh, wait, JK. If you have not watched all the other people in this collab video, make sure you do that. Like, go show them some love too. Let them know you came from the Sleepy Teacher. And if you came from someone else, let me know who you came from. And that's gonna be it. Bye, guys.